Hey, it's Dirk with DMP Home Inspection. What I'm doing today is actually the passport to success. And what I want to do is I wanted to put this out there so that in case I couldn't meet with you, or maybe somebody else in your BNI chapter couldn't meet with you, at least then you could kind of go through this and get a little bit better understanding of what is really going on here in BNI. So, welcome to the DNP studios, and I am your host. All right. The passport to success is not as informative as the MSP. So this does not take any precedence towards the MSP whatsoever. So what I want to do is kind of just go through this with you so that you get a little better understanding. Okay? You should be getting a packet somewhat like this. If not, please just do some screenshots and get this for yourself. Okay, your name should go up on there. You're the member name. You're going to be the mentee. Most of the time, the mentor coordinator is going to go through this with you. Right now, I'm the mentor coordinator of our chapter, and so that's what we do. We meet um, at a facility, and I'm going to put all that information in here to start with. Okay, it's going to have your welcome to BNI chapter, blah blah blah. If it's pace setters, if it's big gain, whatever it is, that's what it is. It's going to meet, and you're going to meet every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever, Saturday from this time to this time at this address. Okay. And then you're going to have a chapter fee that's due every single month in most cases. And then how do you pay? A lot of times people just pay right on their credit card. So that's what this welcome packet's somewhat about. Okay. There is a checklist that you have to do. Okay, BNI is not just all about you getting business. It's about training you on how to get business and how you can get other people business. So basically, you're my sales team. Okay. Anyways, so checklist number one, you're going to complete the MSP, which is the Member Success Program, within the first 30 days. Some areas have longer days, some don't. This region that I'm in says 30 days. You're going to listen to at least one podcast on the BNI University. I like Tim Roberts personally, but there is a bunch of other ones out there. Ivan Meisner has a bunch of them out there. Jessica Lopez has a really great podcast too. But listen to some of those so that way you understand where you're going. Most chapters have a business card box, and in that business card box, it should have your name and your section of where you're at in that caddy so that other members can get your business card. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't bring your business cards when you go to BNI because you're going to find that there's going to be other guests and stuff there that maybe need your service. So that's what you want to do. Complete the online BNI Connect member profile. Include the gains exchange, which means so it's goals, accomplishment, interests, networks, and skills. That's what you want in your gains exchange. Schedule at least one-to-one with fellow members using the biography sheet and the gains exchange. That is all in your BNI profile, and you can get that right on your phone. That's why they have an app. Okay. Prepare your weekly meetings or your weekly presentation, I should say. What you want to do with that weekly presentation is have who, how, what. Those are the three elements, and I'll get into that a little bit later. And that's what you want to focus on. Complete three chapter education units. That's the CEUs. If you look on your BNI Connect app, it'll say how many CEUs. You want to at least do three. Arrange a substitute. So you should have a couple people in the back of your mind who is going to substitute for you if you're gone. Now, you are allowed to have um, sometimes you can have absences, but you really want to fill that seat with somebody else. So that way you're giving someone else a chance to come into BNI and you're also presenting too at the same time. So arrange that substitute. Give a testimony. Testimonials are amazing. That's how BNI grows, is because of the testimonies that come out of BNI. Prepare your feature presentation. Now, How often you do a feature presentation all depends on the chapter. And doing a feature presentation, I would recommend that you go through it and train your people how to get you business. That's what your feature presentation is all about. Then bring in a visitor. Bringing in a visitor is really easy, but it can be very intimidating. So be careful, or you don't have to be careful, but really focus on how you can help that person get into BNI. Give a referral. Giving referrals, again, is an easy thing if you're outgoing. A lot of times people get intimidated by this because they're scared that maybe that person isn't going to fulfill what they're going to fulfill. That's why you want to set up these one-to-one. So it all kind of backs up on one another. Attend a training on university or BNI University too. That is very important. So again, it kind of just amplifies everything that BNI is about. Okay. Your one-to-ones are the most important thing. Don't skip them. Since 1985, we have learned that the first 90 days are crucial to a new member's success, and this passport will allow you to create that success. So, if you're meeting with your mentor coordinator, try to do that at least once a month, if not weekly. Just call and talk to them, and they're going to give you a lot of good input. Okay. For the names of the people you need to meet, too, you need to meet with each of the categories that are in the leadership. That is where BNI really, really, really needs those volunteers, because without those volunteers, BNI cannot be successful. And you want to be part of the leadership team because more than likely you're either a business owner or you're really close to the business owner. So that's what we do. Have Plan on attending at least two one-to-one meetings per week. I like to do at least five. That's one per day of the week, business week, that is. That way, I have a better chance of getting more business coming to me, but I also have more of a chance to give business out. So it's that cycle that goes back and forth. Okay. Have your mentor sign the passport. Use the checklist on the previous page. I think you can read all this. So, and try to get this done within 60 days. Okay. The core values of BNI is giver's gain, which is all about helping each other succeed. Okay. But you can't have giver's gain without that relationship building trust. Okay. And with that, you need lifelong learning. And lifelong learning is all about trying to get yourself back on course or on course to continue to grow. And growing spiritually and mentally is very important. The tradition and innovation is more of bringing what we've learned back in the day, but also adding technology and stuff and innovating it for today. Okay, always have a positive attitude. Go in there with a smile and you'll return with a smile. That's what I always like to say. Accountability is really important because if you're not accountable to your members and your members aren't accountable to you, you're not going to have that great of a time in BNI. So the more you put into BNI, the more you're going to get out of it. Okay. Okay. And the biggest thing that I think is recognition. Recognition of those accomplishments that other people have made is so important because everybody wants to feel good, and recognition makes that person feel good. You can see that there's a lot of like certifications and stuff I have here, but there's a few of them that are BNI related, the most CEUs and things like that, because I really want to push what I want. So recognition is good, but recognition is also about accountability. Accountability is also about having that positive attitude. If you come to your BNI meeting all grumpy, guess what? That positive attitude can really ricochet throughout the entire chapter. Traditions and innovations is all about that positive attitude and giving that fresh new look, which is also about lifelong learning, right? Which is all about building relationships, and building those relationships gives you the giver's gain. So it works on both levels. Okay. The code of ethics. Okay. You will stand up in front of your chapter and you will say, I will provide the quality of services at the prices I have quoted. I will be truthful with the members and their referrals. I will build goodwill and trust among members and their referrals. I will take responsibility for following up on referrals I receive. I will display a positive and supportive attitude, and I will live up to the ethical standards of my profession. Your mentor coordinator may sign this, and your membership committee may sign this, and your director consultant will sign this. So, pretty cool stuff. Matter of fact, this is what every business should be, anyways, but we put it in there as a code of ethics. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about the app a little bit. Okay. And I want you to get your app ready because after this, we can go through the app a little bit more detail. Okay. This is where you can get it at the app, either Android or um, Apple. You can get the BNI Connect app and make sure that you fill everything out. The more you have in there, the more you're going to have a chance to get your business off to a great start. Okay. Or if it's already at a great start, it'll even get better. Okay. Okay, to have an effective one-to-one, you got to confirm this. Okay, make sure that you're really staying on top of this because schedule and confirm those one-to-ones in advance. That way, that person feels important and you're serious about getting to know that person. Send a copy of the biography sheet. Now you really don't have to do that because it's all in the app and you can actually look at it. But I recommend that you do look at it beforehand. There are certain things that are in there that might actually help you out. Send a complete gains exchange. A lot of people don't even fill out their gains exchange because I don't know, maybe they don't feel like they have time. It's right there on the phone. You can do it. It's super easy. Um, and if there's stuff that you don't understand, go back to your mentor coordinator and ask them to explain it a little bit better to you. Review the other person's biography. That's exactly what I said. And that way you have something common to talk about. Okay. And a good, effective one to one is take 15 minutes. The most mature one should take and listen to that person for 15 minutes. Ask a question. How did you get started in your business? 15 minutes. Then they should reciprocate that same exact question to you. How did you get started in your business? Take the next 15 minutes and talk about it. Okay, a good effective one-to-one is at least a half hour long, but you really should try to shoot for that hour and really get to know that person. The first meeting is more about getting to know that person on a comfortable level. Then getting into the business topics is gets into deeper and stuff, and then pretty soon you're going to ask them what's your goals and things like that, and it gets to be fun because you get to know these people. Think about what you need to know to trust that person. Try to identify at least two referrals you can give one another after that meeting. So when you're doing your filling out this form, it's good to just kind of keep um, an idea of who you want as your substitute. Mark those names down, and perhaps maybe you can even have them sign it if you want. Okay. Um, I don't know what else to really say here. You can look this over. Next one, educational coordinator, the vice president. Understanding that the president and the vice president and the educational coordinator, you got your secretary, those are people that you want to just ask them, what did they do or what do they do for the chapter? That way you understand a little bit more about BNI, okay? The Gold Club members, there's a few Gold Club members out there, and they have done an exceptional job of turning visitors into members. And those Gold Club members are amazing people, and they know how to get you to that, okay? So a good invite is I have a group of business persons, people that are excited to meet you. Could you come to our meeting? That's all you have to ask, okay? Wait for a response. If they say, is this a BNI thing? Keep it short. Say, yes, it's BNI. Well, I don't want to join BNI. Well, then you say, I didn't ask you to join. I just need you to hand out business cards because I know that each person in there has at least 30 people that they could probably know who you need in your shop. And if they keep saying no, you can come up with this. Well, do you know anybody else in your field that would like to come to our networking group? And that makes them really think. And 9 times out of 10, they'll come to your meeting, just FYI. Okay. Once you have a good will and trust within the BNI group or chapter, the following techniques to increase your referrals could receive. Be specific, okay? Who are you really looking for? Okay, I'm looking for John Doe at the carpet factory. Be very specific on these things. Describe your dream referral, depending on what field you're in. What is that big ticket person? There's somebody that actually was a landscaper, and he really wanted one of these big ticket items, and he was so excited to say, "Hey, I want this big commercial property," and he got it, but he didn't have the help to actually go through with it. And guess what? He ended up leaving BNI, and he quit his business actually. So make sure that when you're looking for that dream referral, that you can actually handle those dream referrals too. Use the names of people you want to connect with. Okay. Avoid generic terms like anybody, somebody, everybody, and small business. Those are generic terms. You don't want to do that when you're doing your weekly presentation. Make sure that you be specific. I want your best friend, your mother, your sister Sally, something that's specific so somebody can have an idea of who you're talking to. Okay, and identify your local target market. I'm over in this area, blah, blah, blah. Okay, things like that. Tell your members how to help you get those clients you need. Use the BNI money funnel if you have to. Use who do you know? Okay, each one of us has at least 30 individuals that could probably use our services. Okay, so practice this, and practice this, and then be prepared every week. Write it out and have some fun with it too. Okay, you can go to www.schools.com to get your MSP done, and go ahead and I will see you on the next slide here. Start with the BNI app. It's on Play Apple Apple Store or Google Play. Open up the app with your password and just try to be honest, okay? Um, so when you look at it, it looks somewhat like this. You can see that this right here is actually a little different on yours. It isn't like that anymore, but it still does the same purpose. So I am going to go with this. Okay, my name's Dirk Hubble. I'm with the Paysetters, and as you can see, I have one thank you for closed business, one referral, four CEUs, and five one-to-ones. And if I scroll down, it'll actually tell me how many referrals I've done in a 12-month span or a 6-month span. Okay. Up here is a little light bulb. There is a lot of information here on the tips and tricks. Okay. Your networking, memberships, and BNI Connect. You can do quite a bit of cool things with this and learn quite a bit more than um, than when I first started. How's that sound? Okay. Next, you got this little tiny bell looking thing. If you click on that, you can see what your notifications were. So when the notification stops up, you can actually click that and it will show up. You click on here and it'll tell you what it was. Okay. Going down a little bit here is your profile. So this is where you're going to get your profile all set up. You can share your profile. You can talk about your business, your bio sheet. That's what I'm talking about, and that helps with your gains exchange. Make sure that's completely filled out. Um, and you can also put a cool little picture up there too. Okay. The thank you for closed business is something that I recommend that you use at the very minimum. Okay. You want people to throw you the referrals and then put the thank you for closed business in on that end. But sometimes people forget, and you need to enter it in. So if you click here, your chapter will show up right there, all the members, and you just click on the person you did, the amount, and if you want to put a comment in there, you can. Okay. If you want to do a worldwide search, you just use the little eyeglass thing there. Okay. The second one, same thing, the referral. Do the same thing here. It's either inside your the one that's giving it to, or the outside, which is somebody else that you're going to have to fill in this little spot here. Okay. The CEUs, I always recommend do the top one. If you put more than one in at a time, it will not show up here. It does show up on the main computer, but not here. So go ahead and just put one CEU in at a time. So let's say you listen to 4 hours of podcast or read a book or something uh, for an hour. You want to make sure that you're putting it one at a time. If you did like 5 hours, one confirm, one confirm, so on and so forth. Okay. The one-to-ones, again, it's kind of like the same thing with the thank you for closed business and referrals. You scroll down and put that person's name in. Then it's initiated either by that person or yourself, and you put that in there. Where'd you meet? You say McDonald's, whatever, and then topics of conversation. But I always put BNI and then talked about something else. Okay. Anyways, here are your slips here. So let's say you received a referral. So you can go to slips and you go in here and you click on whatever it is, and it should pop up and you'll be able to um, get it. Sorry, that's received. On the given, like your one-to-ones or your thank you for, or like your CEUs and things like that. So anyways, that's that. Okay, next you have your visitors. Now there's two types. Now you'll see there's two types of visitors. You have a guest or a visitor. So whenever you have someone that's coming to your chapter that you invited, if that seat's open, it's considered a visitor. If it's seat's not open, then it's considered a guest. So if there's another home inspector that came in, so I'm totally okay with, I would have them visitor, guest. Okay. Now, if that seat wasn't taken, it would just be visitor, and then you type in the information. Okay. You can also check out other chapters, and you can put yourself in and then find that chapter that you want to go visit and go in there. And I do recommend you do that every once in a while because it is kind of fun. Okay. This is the new thing right here, the community builder. Okay. If you hit on groups, you can actually set up your own group and have discussions inside there. So it's kind of cool. Okay. Testimonies is something that I do recommend that you give every single one of your chapter members a good testimony. So that's pretty cool. And connection, that's who's in your connection. So, okay. But looking at Adam Nye here, I'm going to just kind of pick on him a little bit. If you click on him, you can see that he actually has his gains profile, tops profile, and the weekly presentation. He um, has all this stuff filled out so that way he can just come on this app and get it to work for him. So the more you fill out, the better off you're going to be. Okay. The little eyeglass here, you can, let's say you're out in California or someplace else and you needed I don't know, a realtor or something. And you know that BNI does background checks and things like that. So you know that they're vested in there. And so you can actually go to the little search thing, go to worldwide search, and you can type in what you're looking for. Okay. Your chapter roster, if you need to get a hold of one of your chapter members, you can just click on the chapter roster, go down, and get that person in there. Anyways, I hope this helps. I hope it's encouraging for you. This is all I got for you, and well, blessings to you and your families. Bye.